All right. You guys can hear me, right? Obviously, I can't play music tonight, as it would interfere with our viewing of The Force Awakens. Yeah, Double A. Thanks so much for chilling for the moment. But yeah, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the stream where there's gonna be no music. It's just gonna be my bassy voice and us listening. So I just want to make sure everybody's queued up. Whoever's watching this, hopefully you have The Force Awakens queued up somewhere. And yes, this is going to be uploaded once the stream's over. And I'm pretty excited. I haven't watched this in a while. Hey, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Part of me kind of wishes that Return of the Jedi or Solo won, but that's okay. I plan on doing this a few more times. Exactly, Carter. Yep, this is gonna be like a live stream. Like us just hang out. You guys, if you're watching or whatever, just ask me questions. We can go in tangents, talk about the movie. I'm just kind of playing it, and we're just gonna eventually all press play. Whoever has it opened up, and then we're gonna go for it. So yeah, I should do a marathon. The only thing that's troubling is that means that if I did a marathon of all the movies, I'd have to sit through the special editions with which I hate. But that's okay. I guess I can do it. So it's fine. No worries, Carter. Not everybody has the time to sit here for 2 hours and 18 minutes and do it. So this is just to hang out, and I haven't made a video in a few days. Hopefully you guys caught my Iroh video. I thought that was pretty cool. Excuse me, I just burped. Sorry. Just had a beer. Been a long day of work. Not sure who's coming off work or what time it is for you guys, but man, my brain is scrambled. So I'm ready to see some Kylo Ren. Ready to see some war balls in space. So how about the chat gives me enough yeses to let me know if it's ready to hit play and listen to DFA. So yeah, a dancing piece of bread. My whole day today was optimizing an ad that was going to perform poorly. So it's been a fun day. I do a lot of work for Google kind of stuff. All right, we're getting a lot of yeses. All right, so I'm on Disney Plus. I'm at 0, and we're going in. The Force Awakens in 3, 2, 1, click. I see the logo, guys. Oh my god. I love how pumped everybody is. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away. I swear, every intro to Star Wars sounds a little bit different. The Force Mistakens. No. I think this has a great opening crawl. Does the chat agree? This is in the top tier opening crawls. Luke Skywalker has vanished. Instantly, when you see that, you're like, oh shit. What's up, everybody that's just joining? I love JJ's obsession too with gigantic like overuse of capitalized words. Leia has sent a guy that was supposed to die in the first act of the movie, but he was so cool and so charismatic that he made it through the entire trilogy to discover a clue. That's in my editor version that I made. Nice. I'm glad that you're here to just talk with us. That's awesome. Darth. All right, we pan down, tilt down. I love JJ's fantasy mystical harp stuff that he uses in his Star Wars films. He did the same thing in Tross. I don't know if you guys saw it, but I still think this is one of the best openings to Star Wars. Maybe you can consider, you know, the stormtroopers and all the flashing, like foreshadowing the Exegol guys. It was there all along. No, Joel Davis. If there's one thing I think about Kylo Ren in this movie, I think he's used to a T perfectly on all occasions. Um, Kylo Ren in this was the perfect menace to me. I love Loras and Tekka and this whole freaking hut he's in. I think with all these, like, you know, the little flutes going on and stuff, and like just to look at this intro, I don't know if you guys are like me, but I was just like, yes, they did it. I already knew right away that this movie was going to be good. It's crazy how much slower paced this is now in my head compared to The Rise of Skywalker. I used to think this movie was furiously fast. It looks like the stream is getting a little chunky, but we'll see what happens. Maybe it'll pull through. Dude, the dropping of these stormtroopers in like it's Normandy is bananas. Finally, you know, like, I remember thinking this in the theater, like, oh my god, um, stormtroopers are actually dangerous and scary. Nice, stream health is back to healthy. Let me tell you, I'm at 4 minutes and 38 seconds, 39 seconds, 40 seconds, 41 seconds, 42 seconds, 43 seconds. Try to sync it up. We're on like 450 now. For anybody that's just coming in. Poe is running underneath his X-Wing, staring at his engine that just got zapped. Practical aliens. Yeah, even like this stuff. Just the whole set. I'm pretty sure this is Pinewood. But JJ's just slapping us in the face, being like, boom. This new regime isn't fucking around. Until they turn into kind of the goof troop. But love that line delivery. So 80s. I'll come back for you. Yeah, Lily Lamb. I'd say definitely the most gritty. 100%. Yeah, Dancing Piece of Bread. I have it queued up. We're doing like a little watch along. I'm at like 5:45 now. We just got the smearing of blood on Finn. Now turning him into a Jedi. That's what this whole scene means now, right? So for anybody just tuning in, I just hit 6 minutes. Right now, Finn is freaking out. Oh, bummer, dude. What's up, Earl? Here comes Kylo Ren. I love the use of his theme. It's so different in this movie. Not swung like it is in The Last Jedi and in The Rise of Skywalker. It's more, it's like brutally in your face with all the staccato trumpets. It's super classic. Oh, Anonymous. I wish I could. I don't have a good setup right now for OBS because of the way my house is set up, but yeah, that's a good idea for future streams. I appreciate that. I'll try to do that next time. Easily the best line delivery of all Star Wars in the beginning of a movie ever. Look how old you've become. Just gave me chills. Did this line give anybody chills? This whole vibe. Oh my god. His deep voice, like a purring cat from hell. And he just murders Lor San Tekka. Come on. Make this movie rated R. Show him split-bodied, trying to put some of himself back inside of his body, terrified at the last moments of his life. Just kidding. It might be too much for 5-year-olds. Also, this quip... Alright, I'll give you the time code, Anonymous. I just hit 8 seconds, or 8 minutes, 5 seconds. We're getting quippy with Kylo Ren right now, which I thought was great. A little goofy in The Last Jedi, but still, consistent character, right? I love that bassy voice. Put him on board. Little do you know that he's actually just talking softly like a wimp underneath there. I would love to see a series that's like about the 3 months right before this that isn't Resistance, but just about Kylo and how menacing he is in this period. Yeah. And I guess you could say this moment now with Finn and Kylo is again foreshadowing his Force sensitivity. I always kind of wondered that. Did the chat ever, you guys ever wondered that? If like this is the moment you're like, oh yeah, Force sensitive Finn. Kylo sensed it. Yeah. I have a couple words blocked out, but if I see you guys, don't worry about it. I'll unmute you. You can swear. I don't give a crap. As I don't swear. I'm in such dad mode sometimes. Also, perfect use of bizarre alien thing right here. Kojima. And relentless Star Wars music, like these are pirates in space going back to their main vessel. Love this music. Great cue. I'm so sad we're not going to get more John Williams in Star Wars. What's up, Henry? I do kind of wish that we saw Kylo Ren here in this moment, like escorting somebody, or he just kind of like disappears and appears in this movie. Oh, totally, Marianne. It's like it's like he has a lot of Batman stuff going on. If you think about some of his character, well, not his murderous nature, but somehow JG's like, yeah, she'll just appear from behind in this creepy way. I don't care what anybody says. Like, I get Phasma was like underutilized for sure in the sequel trilogy. I wanted more, but like, she's still pretty cool. MPPL, what's up? I also think Rey's intro is perfect. Silent. Every sound you hear in the scene too. I don't know if you guys watched that part of the documentary where like every sound from the echoes and everything is just this lady doing Foley. Amazing. There she is. Rey Palpatine Skywalker. Trying to drink some of that water, that juice from Jakku. I also think this would be fun as hell. Like, also, anybody else think this theme sounds like Christmas? This sounds like Christmas and also like Home Alone. Like, just it feels good. Oh, interesting. It was supposed to be a swamp planet? Yo, Skinny D, I didn't see you say hello. What's up, man? Or maybe lady. Maybe a dog. I don't know. Stuart. Stuart is in the house. Also, for those who don't know, maybe you do know, that's a pod racing engine apparently, which I think is amazing. It looks like one of the ones from like Sebulba's uh or no, yeah, am I thinking yeah, from like Sebulba's make, whatever those like engines build would be called. I always thought that was clever. JJ had no idea how to deal with the prequels, but he's like, what if it's just like an engine from the prequel? That way we're paying homage. Like you won't know it's there, but I will. Kind of like how he is. Bartolo Vader, what's up? Welcome to the Force Awakens watch along. Also, amazing alien with robot arms. I love these like more scary Javas with a little axe and a gonk droid. What do you guys think JJ did better, Star Trek or Star Wars? I think he did. On the whole, Star Trek, but he made a much better movie with this. That's what I would say. Although the con thing could be arguably like a Palpatine. I always wish that we came back to her at like at. I've always said to myself, "Oh wait, hold on. This scene is amazing with this freaking bread thing. You guys know that's a practical effect. Just like cooking her green stew from Unkar Plutt, but makes magical bread from inside of a elephant walker." This is the stuff about like the Force Awakens where you're like, he did have an like there is an overall deviation from the OT roadmap. And Rey finally gets to wear the helmet for real in Tross. Yeah, I agree about Rey's look at the old lady. Like, is that gonna be me? Anybody else notice too how unbusy frames are in this movie? There's just less happening and allows you to just kind of focus on the actual story. I like that. Can't remember this dude's name. Tito? Yeah, Tito. I need more Tito. Henry Lewis, let me tell you the timestamp. We just passed 1540. So we're Ray's fixing the antenna of BB-8. I love how he like looks at her like stunned that this other human would like help her. Or I don't know. I don't remember like from the book if BB-8 thinks something about Ray there. Drowning in the sand. It ends up happening. You guys know who did the voice for BB-8? Oh, Chris, those are her first scenes? Interesting. It's been a long time since I watched the doc for this movie. Yep, Bill Hader, that's right. Such a classic transition. Um, Also, the mask in this scene with Kylo is like apparently the test mask. That's why it looks enormous. Oh yeah, we started. For those just checking in, we're at 17 minutes, 12 seconds. The sound design for the infiltration of his mind is amazing. In the theater, I remember feeling it through my chest. I guess if they were gonna like reuse a beat from, um, the original trilogy with the infiltration of Leia's mind per se, it's a great way to do it. It's disturbing as hell with that scream. Oh, thanks so much for super chat. First super chat of the stream from Justin. Thanks so much, man. You have no idea how much super chats literally keep this channel afloat. Right now, it's the dry season of Star Wars content. This whole line takes on such an interesting, just perspective now. Oh, let me get a timestamp. We're at 1830. Oh yeah, Henry Lewis. I remember that from the art book. They're supposed to be gold, right? The other thing about this movie that's good is like the depth in the imagery is nice, where like your eyes aren't too over like saturated with what's happening in the frame. Where Charles, I feel like everything's in focus. Oh, really, Bertolo? Or is that how I say it? I love the reveal. I'm a big fan of Adam Driver just as an actor, but I can understand maybe why. Match cut transitions, dudes. So all this right here is Lawrence Kasdan, his idea. Stormtrooper that defects. We're at 1942. Yo, what's up, Yova? Welcome to the watch along. Finn and Poe are definitely the best in this film, I think. Like maybe just as characters in general. It would have been so interesting if Poe did die in the first act. Like that use of a line, always wanted to fly one of these things, like is what we're all thinking as fans, but it's so perfectly used in this scene. JJ is a meta dude too, just like Brian. The random hook of destiny there. That was the one thing I didn't like about the scene. I'm like, why is there a hook? No, totally. Yeah, we wouldn't have Poe. My one criticism about this movie was always like Finn's total like hesitation at murdering aimlessly, knowing that he was like brainwashed to do so, but then like just doing it right here. But it's, this is super entertaining. Take it easy, Royal. Thanks so much for hanging out. Back to Jakku. Yes, we're going back to Jakku. Also, that could be a meta line. We got to take out as many of these cannons, or else we're not going to get very far. You got to take out the Legends guys. It was a conspiracy from the start. I can't not laugh at that scene where they're both just so happy that Finn blew up something. You know what? I wish in yeah, Joel Davis. I would agree with you a lot. Yes. I don't know what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, I wish they like circled back on the fact that like Poe named Finn in the Rise of Skywalker somehow. Like maybe they didn't find, and he's like, "Yeah, you're nothing like Leia," and he's like, "Well, I named you." Oh god, the internet would have lost its mind. Yeah, anonymous. I kind of feel you on that. Visually, Rogue One is like super impressive, and honestly, I think it has the best third act in a Star Wars movie, like for action and all that kind of stuff. But man, the story itself is just like a TV show. It could have been like 45 minutes. They got the plans, and Vader's on the death hunt. Dude, I love how frustrated Finn is. They gotta get the droid. And that's where the confusion began. The map leads straight to Luke Skywalker. That's what they think it does. But then it turned into, why would he leave a map behind? Pretty sure the guy that did all the screen animations in The Force Awakens was Andrew Kramer that does Video Copilot. Uh, cool stuff if you want to learn how to do like After Effects. He has a website. Come on, guys, this scene is amazing. Finn in the desert alone, waking up after crashing. That scene in the trailer was like, yeah, I'm good. That's all I need to see. I'm going to see this movie. Imagine going to work and your work is seeing a practical set of a TIE fighter. Listen, yes, I really only feel that in The Rise of Skywalker. I feel like he was like, it's had nothing to do. It got too like only force heavy, I guess is what I'd say. Also, love that giant explosion that Steven Spielberg suggested. Was like, yo, JJ, I know that you're trying to be me, but look, if you're gonna be me, do something that I would do. Put a big explosion in your. Just cut to it. And he did. I think Tross is just like a good average fantasy movie that is Star Wars. I don't think it's near the quality of The Force Awakens or Last Jedi. And say what you will about The Last Jedi's story, but you can still tell that that film was made at high standard. Tross was kind of like, they just didn't have time to finish. I mean, it's so apparent watching this. This movie's so good. Maybe it didn't deserve a 7.5 on my scale. Maybe it needed like a 7.9. Stuart, I didn't know that. But thank God. I think, oh, you know what? You might have told me that in Twitter. So I'm also going to talk about something at the end of this movie that I think to be going into a script that I'm going to be making about the 3 changes. There might even be 5 that I would make about the sequel trilogy to make it a little bit more cohesive. Some of it involves this stuff with Mr. Snokey. I think we needed this menacing Kylo a little more often throughout the trilogy. I will say that. I don't think he even needs the mask either. Dude's an explosive gentleman. This scene is so awesomely disgusting. He just drinks the pig nose water. Ugh. Thinking about this makes me want to. Alright, guys, here it is. This is Rey being able to defend herself against two people that are men, you know, maybe, or aliens with strength. Two. Okay. She shows proficiency. Takes them both out. Okay, there is the setup for Rey being self-sufficient. For anybody that missed it. There it is. I also think it's hilarious how, like, Rey's just, like, just super ready to take out Finn for her new droid companion. Like, slap! Where you going, thief? Let me get the timestamp. I'm at 28:22. The thief part. Oh, Henry Lewis, I gotta think about that. If I can make if I could do a story that I could choose, I would do Plagueis. What is the most fantasy of the sequel trilogy? I mean, I feel like The Rise of Skywalker tried to be the most fantasy, but a lot of that stuff got cut. I think in regards of like that classical feeling of fantasy, like Lord of the Rings mysteriousness, echoes and reverbs used to make you feel weird, is The Last Jedi. Last Jedi, hands down. And like, just with like, I don't know, it's hard to describe. Just weird things. I love that Daisy really like almost laughs. Or maybe she would, I don't know. Funny. This line is amazing. Luke Skywalker is a myth to this kid. Just like the Jedi were some fabled story to Luke when he was a kid. Now Luke is that legend. Look at why people had a problem with this. Like, he's not even in the movie. I thought it was cute that that Finn wanted to hold Rey's hand and protect her. Again, the First Order appearing kind of mischievous and threatening. I think this scene was like filmed at Bad Robot, if I remember correctly. Or like they redid some of this or some of these scenes because they needed to tweak the humor or their charisma. Dude, I still to this day also think that like, you know, while The Last Jedi is like spectacularly shot and like pristine, this one still might have like just the best aesthetic in a lot of ways. Like, again, it's a lot of that OT. Oh yeah, dude, that just made me remember. When I first saw the trailers, I thought Finn was literally gonna end up being a Jedi that everybody was protecting. Like, he found out he was a Jedi, like, or Force sensitive in the First Order, and like Rey was just gonna be the Han Solo junker scrapper, the inverse of that, and like everybody's gonna be protecting Finn to get him to Luke. It's crazy that I just remembered that. Best reveal of the Falcon. Nostalgia done nicely. Yeah, Jay. When they first mentioned Luke, I just think it's so cool. make him this mystery. But like, I just have to say, like, you know, I like the JJ mystery stuff when it's part of the story and not hinging on it. The garbage will do. Guys, she barely functionally flies this too. When people are like, how could she fly so good? She like doesn't here. Sure, like all of a sudden she does later, but like it's also a movie where, you know, things progress faster than normal life. I love this. That's mine. R.I.P. Unker Plutt, or his arm, or whatever happened to him. I like Unkar Plutt. Alright, chat. I want to know, this Falcon scene or the Falcon scene in Last Jedi? I personally choose Last Jedi because of the red crystal caves. Yeah, Chris. I think it's the whole point too with Rey in this movie. It's like she doesn't even know she's trusting in the Force. She's just like, this is natural to me. I had like 10 portions today. It's amazing that nobody throws up in the gunner chair. It's like staring down the ground, going so fast and flipping and shooting. Hey, BB-8 is a Mary Sue because all of a sudden, without setup, wires came out of him. How? You know, I really thought they would, Marianne. I thought they were going to destroy some. I'm surprised that they went with like the slightly easy way out with just Carrie Fisher. I mean, I get it, makes sense, but I thought Chewie was a goner. What's up, Dale? Also, the pilots. I remember when I first saw them in one of like the teaser trailers. The TIE pilots are just so much better looking helmet wise in this. The aesthetic that JG went for, which is like the Apple design, is so cool. Could have been a little weirder with the Stormtroopers, a little more angular, but whatever. Kanji Club. There's a story I need. Arguably, dude, come on. Like, this is like the best. This scene. How can you not like this scene? Even if you hate this movie, how can you not like this scene just in a vacuum? Going through the innards of a freaking Star Destroyer. Yeah, Dave Filoni does reference a lot of Lord of the Rings. I love the cheery John Williams music. You know, the other thing this movie did pretty well, and I think some of The Last Jedi did really well, is making the ships really look like a bit of motion control, which I prefer. I just love that look. That makes me think of Star Wars. My favorite of the sequels, The Last Jedi. I do think it has some of the weirdest humor in the sequels. But like beyond that, like I just love the story. I can get why people hate it, but I love it. I love this blossoming relationship between Mr. Finn and Rey. They're so honest and like quickly open with each other, which is interesting, like if you think about it, but you would think people that are like hiding would be, I don't know. Oh my god. A lot of people had a problem with this version of Kylo Ren here, but I think this is perfect. It's funny, but it's scary. Yeah, Thomas Johnson. Yeah, I'd say I wouldn't disagree. The fear that people have of like Kylo Ren's temper is, I think, amazing. Like pretty much in the trilogy. Um, I wish they went a little harder with it. Like the sound design here. What girl? You kidding me? It's almost like Freddy Krueger time. That's why I wish they kept in the decapitation of Bulio in the movie, which was in the like one of the earlier cuts. Like they show the head that they throw on the table, but there's actually a scene where like Kylo Ren is walking down the hallway like up to Hux, who has Bulio with them, and after interrogation, without hesitation, he just chops off his head. I mean, badass. Oh man, people lost it at this scene in the theater. I did too. I mean, my first viewing was like just me and my buddy somehow, but the second viewing, humor is like perfectly balanced in The Force Awakens. There should have been a Back to Jakku, a Star Wars story, just about Finn. Yeah, BB-8's thumbs up was like so iconic. That's my replica of BB-8 on my stands behind me. It just has like a little piece that you can put into it of him like doing the thumbs up. So now we enter the Empire Strikes Back portion of the movie. Kinda. On the run. Some bounty hunters. I get. I'm not sure how many of you guys are people like that are super into the ship designs, but I think that frigate itself. I can't remember the name of it right now. I bet Stuart, if he's in here, he knows. Um, I think this is like one of the better designed new ships. I get the Star Destroyers. Like I know why they look the way they do, but like it could have been cooler. Yeah, Thomas, I agree. But I think honestly, that's only if you're online. But then so much of life is online, so you have to see all everybody's opinion just gets so amplified. Such a good line. Such a good opening to Mr. Han. What do you think Chewie said, guys? Tell me, like, Chewie, we're home. I think he was like, dude, I live in a tree. This is a dump. Huh. Maybe he did say I know. Maybe that's the canon explanation. So many names of people that I want to know about. Duquesne, Duchovny, X-Files. So people, all right. Han Solo used to be Han Solo. Still is Han Solo cosmetically. But like is the reason people like him in this movie is because he's on the Falcon doing the things he used to do? Because like arguably he's not himself, just like how Luke is a little bit different in TLJ. I'll never understand that point of view. Like Luke's character was misunderstood. Super weird. I think yeah, this is the movie. Does this movie introduce Moof Milker? Is that this movie? Really? Some people complain about that? I think it makes sense that she would only know that. She's not a learned person in that regard. Even this movie presented him as not pure. Moof Milka. Hey guys, give me 1 second. I'm not going to pause the movie. I'm going to keep it going. I'm just going to go get myself a seltzer. So I never knew this until just reading again. Like, I guess it never sunk in. But those dudes, the Death Squad, they're like cybernetically enhanced faces or something. It reminds me of the Decraniated. Yeah, these guys. Yeah, Chris, exactly. She's never flown in space before. This guy was great. Han Solo. He's just human Greedo. Yeah, Guavian. Yeah, so those dudes are supposed to be like cyber, I guess cybernetic some way. I don't know. I have the Black Series. Tell that to Kanji Club. The guys who I thought were going to be the Knights of Ren. Someone told me that you can put like the original baked in orange subtitles on Disney Plus, which I think should just be part of the movie no matter what, but it's so weird seeing the subtitles not in that way. Joel Davis, 100% no. That's actually one of the things on my things I would have changed about the sequel trilogy. Yeah, dude, that's so crazy to me that the things I thought were so fast, the developments I thought were so fast in this film aren't fast to me at all anymore. We live in a post-Tross world. Mr. Madman 2222. I think if J.J. Abrams honestly did direct this new trilogy, it would have just been 100% a sort of never-ending remix of the original trilogy, but like almost beat for beat. That's kind of like what the Rise of Skywalker is to me. So right now I'm at 4612. Watch some Rathars eat some people. I actually don't mind the Rathars. I feel like people are like, oh, they're so stupid. And I'm like, I don't know. They're like kind of horrifying. I wouldn't want to be on a ship where a humongously mouthed, sharp toothed demon thing would, devour me. Like a mini Sarlacc. Julian, I actually really, really, really liked a lot of Duel of the Fates. I think it felt like a better capper for this trilogy, where TFA would be like the introduction that's lighthearted, familiar, it introduces enough of something for somebody to riff on, hence TLJ. And then they had this like post-apocalyptic vibe that I loved. which, you know, I enjoy the horror pulpiness of The Rise of Skywalker, but it's still like very easy movie in my opinion. Also, a great scene here. Rey being humble, saving Finn. And she's just like, yeah, that was lucky. You know, it's just been a while since I've really just chilled and watched this, and I'm just hearing the music now too. It even sounds more interesting to me. I love the big deal Han makes about the bowcaster. Wow, this thing shoots. I'm with you, Mr. Madman. I don't know if it's gonna happen now, just because it's been forever, and that dude is just like, oh, he just wants to make movies. Why is he gonna wait? But maybe he will. I don't know. Jennifer, honestly, regardless of how odd the Rise of Skywalker was, I'd say like it's like three people kind of like Kylo Ren, Luke Skywalker, and like oddly Qui-Gon Jinn. That's like favorite characters. Kylo Ren just because of the obvious. Same reason I like Zuko. Just I have a soft got to figure out his bullshit. Overall worked pretty well. So wish we got more of this guy. Maybe he should have been like a Knight of Ren. Revealed. Oh, it's this guy. Maybe he's Kuruk. I thought Snoke was great in this movie. He's just Diet Palpatine, but like, if you're gonna do it, make it ridiculous. It's over the top. He looks way more old in this too, and it's very clear his robes were not gold. He looks so different actually in The Force Awakens, including his neck. He looks more like a chicken. Sorry, I just burped into the stream. I'm at the 50 minutes and 14 seconds. Little did we know that this being, who maybe is based on King Amen, maybe we'll find that out, is just a machination of Palpatine. But how is he Force powerful? Like, how does he have dark side powers? If he's a puppet. We didn't need that line. We didn't need to hear Han Solo. We just needed to hear your father. It was perfect the way it was, without that Han Solo drop. You know, I will say, in a sense, sometimes I'm curious about, you know, I do want to know what JJ thought this Snoke was up to. Because it's clear in the comics for Snoke in the Age of Resistance that he had Snoke was powerful to JJ and was a sadistic individual and had a plan. And it's even kind of made that way in the book. Like he's been around for like 100,000 years or something. But apparently it's only really been like 60 years. I never remembered that. And I totally forgot that BB-8 screams when Chewbacca yells at him. Henry, I kind of think that would have been cooler. Snoke was something else entirely than even a being from there. But I don't know. Either way, I'm glad that like what went down narratively went down. Chewie's so curious, like, how's that yes going? Rey with her "I'm just a scavenger" nonsense. No, you're not. You're Palpatine. This part of the movie also, and this part in the trailer, is so chill inducing when he's like saying like the story of the original trilogy is true. Like to us as fans, like it wasn't just a story. It happened. JJ wrote that Luke just walked away from everything. People were confused that Luke walked away from everything in The Last Jedi. What? Yeah, I'm with you, Julian. I feel like I would like some kind of like hybrid of the two. I love this. The magical power holding together good and evil. Finally took this long for him to believe in the Force. Sequel trilogy definitely could have used a little bit more. If they were going to use flashbacks, they could have utilized some flashbacks to Ben's early life with Han. If they're going to de-age people, why not? Like, that's the thing. Like, if they were going to do that anyways, just go for it. Yeah, I wonder that too, X-Wolf. Also, Takodana is gorgeous, right? I've always thought this is like a fairy tale right here. Like, it just feels like a Disney fairy tale. Castle. Princess that doesn't know she's a princess. Or empress. You know, we were all talking about that a long time ago. Like, she's like royalty. And then when she actually ends up being it, we're all pissed, right? It's kind of hilarious if you think about it. We did get what we wanted, but maybe not how we thought it would happen. Yeah, I want to live on Takodana. Yeah, Chris, dude, the first time Rey smoke screen though, crazy. It was a much better use of Hans knowing that he's a stormtrooper there than the boots. I'm glad that got cut. Take it easy, Julian, if you're heading out. Thanks so much for hanging out. Hey, Blue Bantha Milko. I do like tacos, mostly because of what they do to my butt. Sorry, Chad. I love Han being like, my son hates me and I don't have a wife anymore, and maybe I would have been a good dad, and you're young. Maybe I could do this again and help somebody. Like, that's all how I always read this whole thing. Not like, Han knows she's a Palpatine or whatever, or like knows who she is. Like, he didn't get to do this with Ben, so he gets to do it with Rey. If I could live anywhere in the Star Wars galaxy, where would it be? Honestly, if I didn't have to live there forever, the first place I would stay is Coruscant. For like, at least like 3-4 years. Then I think I want to go to maybe, I don't know. I'd want to see it all safely. Maz Kanata was also much cooler in The Force Awakens than any other film in the sequel trilogy. He had much more presence. I don't know if you guys noticed, but that whole one shot that you thought was one shot is two shots. When it pans up and tilts back down, it goes to the wide-angled shot. I never knew that until I watched behind the scenes. There's one thing JJ excels at. It's puppet madness. Why I'm always gonna be mad. We didn't get Webbish Bog. Blue Bantha, what are you saying? Oh, between work. You're working. Dude, in episode 10, Blue Bantha Milko, I don't know. Is that you, Matt? I don't know which one it is, but she looks like E.T. literally, but like one of the ones from an amusement park. That's the only thing about Maz Kanata in the last one. Also, fly people. Come on. How can you not like fly people? You know what Maz did in episode 9? She repeated what Leia said. Leia goes, "We have to go to Exegol to stop the First Order, to stop Palpatine." And then it like pans over to Maz and she's like, "We've got to stop this. The herp derp derp derp." Oh, wait, hold on. Guys, one of the best scenes of the movie. Kylo into this mask is forever such an interesting story choice. His voice is ridiculous. Why didn't they? Who did this voice? Like, or the plugins? Where was he for Tross? That delivery. You know, maybe putting Adam Driver in a closet made him rush his lines. I don't know. I know, the scene's so good. I don't know, like, what the demographic or like the mid average age group is here. Does everybody know who the Golden Girls are? That show. I feel like if there was a Golden Girls on the Hollows, Maz Kanata would star in it. Through the ages, I've seen evil take many forms. The Sith, the Empire, and now the Sith. I believe Finn in this moment that, like, I believe that the First Order is terrifying. Trust me. Whenever you search Golden Girls and see what you see, when you see one of the actors, you're gonna be like, "Oh, that's Maz." That's the funniest part about the sequel trilogy, I think. Like, we're going beyond the Sith. We're going so far beyond the Sith that we've circled back to the Sith. Makes sense. I don't know. Whatever. And here's where I think some things should have changed in this movie. I think there should have been an assault on Hosnian Prime, but also a little bit more cutting back and forth for us to give a crap about it happening, right? And that way, like, or like maybe they take out like one planet, not all of them. This like almost all of them, or like their basic military. They're like wherever their military is, it's all gone. Now it's just planets. And I still think things should have like ended up on Starkiller Base, but I think Starkiller Base should have not exploded until the end of the trilogy. I think it's next target after the movie, because like they should have incapacitated the laser, should have been Dakar. That was the next target of the Starkiller base, and then they're all getting out of there, even though the fleet of the First Order's just going there first. Either way. This whole back and forth is so good. I'm not a hero. You know what's interesting? Captain Rex is a lot like Finn sometimes, if you think about it. Broke a conditioned thing that he was supposed to do. You know what I mean? And ended up on the run. Like, not as deep or drawn out, and you know what I mean? It's like a much fuller story, Captain Rex, but it's just such a solid idea for a character. Yeah, Bespin's pretty cool. Yeah, Stuart, didn't we only see those in the cartoon? Yeah, it's weird that it wasn't in the movie. Coruscant should have definitely been in the sequel trilogy at some point. Also, this is another scene coming up here, like the whole Flash Force thing. It's like so well done in this movie that it frustrates me at how cheap looking the flashback during her training looks in The Rise of Skywalker. Like, we have 25 clips, just dice them up with a filter and a sound design. I mean, it looks cool and sounds cool, but it's not like this. Well, Davis, dude, I am forever curious about Exegol now, post Return of the Jedi. I think we need to mine that era. You guys agree? Also, whenever Ray walks up, the doors they open, huh? JJ's just like, yeah, doors just gonna open. She's gonna walk in, find something. The something gives her a vision. It's either good or evil. Sometimes it's a lightsaber. And correct me if I'm wrong. Is that supposed to be Obi-Wan's original box that had Anakin's lightsaber, or is that just like an homage to that? I mean, if you're gonna reveal this lightsaber, it's a pretty cool way to do it. Like, this is amazingly constructed. Whole vision sequence. See that angle, same lighting of Rey's burning Temple Knight. This will forever remain a mystery to me. Um, Perhaps in JJ's mind, he thought that the massacre happened at the hands of Kylo Ren still, near the Unity tree that happened to be on the planet Luke was on, with the Knights of Ren. But, you know, I don't know. Nobody knows. There's nothing cooler than Kylo in the forest and Knight with the mask. Not one thing. Nothing. Not ice cubes. Nothing. Yeah, Thomas, you know, at the end of the day, some things should remain mysteries and we like just fill in our own stories in our brains. Did that with a lot of stuff with the original trilogy when I was growing up. Yeah, Stuart, true. It does look nice. But I guess what I mean is like I wish it like played a significance in like something as far as Luke's isolation. Like we all know that like the mining of that planet I think began with the Empire, but like Luke discovering that like in his absence, like his nephew like is like blaspheming the sacred place that he accidentally caused. I think that'd be interesting, and that's why I kind of wish that like something about Starkiller Base loomed over Luke or something, because it's Ilum. And imagine that being like Luke, like you expect me to help you after you blow up a sacred Jedi planet. Imagine that. No, I don't know if that would be Luke's first or what? No, Luke's second refusal to the call in her hero's journey, or some people say heroine's journey, or whatever. Depends on what lens you got, I guess. Yeah, I feel like we're all curious about his vision. You gotta hand it to him. I love this Hux too. I mean, they made a planet that can suck a star and blow up things. And Pride's like, you stupid idiot. Why? I mean, this is pretty impressive. Hard to say, Thomas. I kind of like sleep deprived Hux and TLJ. The only thing I don't like about Hux and TLJ is his first joke. That's it. But he could have been like a little more intense like this in moments. Like, why not? He kind of was with Finn, a little bit disgusted with him. But in here, he's just like baby Hitler. Like, that scene in the trailer blew me away. I was like, what is happening in this movie? There's a white glowing storm eliminating a forest. I was like, what was happening? Yeah, he's like staring at this, crying. This is as important as Hux will ever be. This moment right here. This is it. He was a abused kid, according to the comics, and his greatest moment of glory culminated in this moment right here. Then after this, he became everybody's bitch. Oaks, Kylo's, Pride's. Yeah, Stuart, that's right. So I think, yeah, like that's it. This is the Republic, right? It looks so cool. You see all the like we needed to see a. I guess I didn't like the deleted scene of the Republic and how they use like whatever. I can't remember what the character's name was. I'm talking about like full on narrative sequences in the Republic. I think to give us any kind of emotion on what just happened, besides, oh yeah, that's like kind of like a more intense Death Star explosion of Alderaan. Just give us something to hold on to. Give us somebody that we care about that dies there. That's all I'm saying. Raised in a magical forest. Yeah, Stuart, I'd say agreed. Also, again, I love how the First Order comes in here like pirates, like coming in. There was a certain way the sequel trilogy decided to like deal with the First Order. At least I think in the first two movies, they felt more piratey for some reason. Maybe it was the music cue. Is Finn a Jedi? Maybe. He does have a lightsaber. And this is where a bunch of people got super pissed because Finn can't hold the lightsaber. He's a black stormtrooper. You guys remember those days? Oh my god. Every one of these movies had some sort of boycott because of something that was completely irrational. Dude, they destroy Maz's castle like it's not even a Tuesday. Then it's like, whatever. It's gone. It stood here for 1,000 years. It's gone. Han Solo's kid did it. So badass. It would have been interesting if they destroyed Coruscant. Also, this big, long shot of Kylo, or like this whole sequence here, it's so cool. What girl? JJ, like, again, I have a sense of what's happening as I'm watching the battle. It's, you know, awesome. Yeah, I think a lot of people take issue just with things in Star Wars nowadays, just because if you take issue with something and you make a video about it, it's like it's just popular. And it was popular back in the day too, like Mr. Plinkett's reviews. I love that scene. Oh, I like this thing. Dude, Finn straight up murders that dude with a lightsaber. This is the coolest duel in the sequel trilogy, maybe. Right here. Imagine one of these stormtroopers fighting a Jedi. Like with these weapons. Because I'm pretty sure the idea was that they would be able to fight Force sensitives. Like they're trained to be combat ready for that kind of like thing. And that would have been such an interesting take on Kylo Ren and why he's part of the First Order. To help them fight and train against Force users. Imagine that angle. He's not only part of their piloting program and like research and development, but he teaches entire battalions how to deal with Force users. Oh yeah, Stuart. Great score. Yeah, Darth, I said that once in a skit. It's like, your entire fleet just disappears and there's two toys talking to each other. The intro of the Resistance in this movie is fantastic. Zero problems that they're using X-Wings, I don't care. I mean, people are like, at least George was innovative, he made Naboo cruisers. I'm like, well, it's serving the same purpose. You think about our own Air Force, the design of a fighter jet hasn't really changed its form in a long time. Like, we're talking 80 years, maybe. Yeah, I always figured Kylo Ren carrying Rey that way after the Forest exchange was like very interesting and revealing about their trajectory. Like I feel like we could all figure out from the get-go, like Rey and Kylo are gonna have a connection because, you know, Anakin and Obi-Wan had a connection and also Padme's involved. And then Luke and Vader, obviously father and son. They're gonna have to figure out some other method of that. And they did it with the dyad bond thing. It makes that line, "Don't be afraid, I feel it too," so much more cool now, I think. I don't care how weird Tross is, like I said, it did make some things interesting looking back in the stream. Good night, Stuart. Thanks so much for hanging out for a little bit. Yeah, Axon. Or is it Axon? Yeah. Axon 5150. Is that your amplifier of choice? I have an emulator of that in my music program. All right, Kylo Ren is just a sheer badass. He's just like boom, 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 force hold. He's a menace. All right, this line delivery is Tross level. The girl I've heard so much about. But the direction of the camera, fantastic. This line. The way he says the droid. Like the devil just knocked on your door. Yeah, he is. He's a menace with a crush. Actually, yeah, I never thought about that. He's like the Grim Reaper. His teas are so interesting. You've seen it. I'm just saying, I think it was a brilliant idea to make his voice sound like that. Who knew Adam Driver's voice could sound horrifyingly scary? A much better version of Finn being concerned for Rey running. The one person who didn't care what he was has been taken away. Again, they take off like pirates. A little band of pirates taking off with Rey. So what? Wait. So how long into the movie are we? We're like an hour and 19 minutes, and we're just about to see Leia for the first time. It's crazy to think that that's how much movie goes by, and then you finally see Leia. Yeah, Henry Lewis, I agree. Arachnito. C3PO with the average usage. I think he was the real star of the Rise of Skywalker. He was like oddly very well used in that. Love this. Friends seeing each other after a while. I think the amount of OT characters seeing each other was fine. I miss his red. Jakku. This planet's pretty cool, guys. I mean, the sequel trilogy has a lot more worlds in it than the OT, so like, in the world building scale of things, it arguably did just as many things, and I think Dakar's pretty rad. Um, I just like that you can like see the everything. It's like an exterior Hoth base. No way. Sequel's better than the originals? I don't think I could ever. Maybe cinematically, camera, sound design, or some in some sense. Feels like a resort. Oh man, the bromance. You completed my mission, Finn. You complete me. You wear my jacket. Makes you look spicy. Come on, we all know that we wanted it. Man love. Every movie needs it. Even Predator has it. Han told me about the girl. FYI, she's a Palpatine. I've known it all along. I have one criticism, if you will grant me that, chat. I don't mean to be negative. I would have said it would have been nice to have Leia to be a little more forceful with Finn there. Like, kind of a Jyn Erso situation. Like, you're going to sit down, you're going to tell me I right now. And then she comes to realize that he really is fine. Whatever. Council allows me to speak. I appreciate it. I know I'm not a master yet, but I am on the council. Or at least in it. Did we ever get an explanation for why R2 is in this power mode? Yeah, exactly, Arachnito. Like, she's fine in her haste. The haste makes sense. I think she could have been a little more spicy. No, she slapped Poe across the face. We need that spice. Is that what it is? R2 is in mourning? I'll accept it. The confusion of Ben's backstory in the movie. That's all I'm gonna say. I believe in Adam Driver's headcanon, just like the books have like kind of Adam Driver's idea of about his childhood. I'm so curious. We know that at some point Luke and Leia encountered Snoke. Maybe there'll be a comic someday where like he's a puppet senator figure kind of thing. R2 is in power saving mode. Okay. I just didn't know like if there was like a real reason besides just being in it. One of the best scenes in the movies, guys. I wonder how long he's been staring at her. Technically, he's not wrong. So inquisitive. You still want to kill me? Then the scene that broke so many people's hearts, both men and women across the world. Pouty lipped, flowing hair. Tiny Han Solo. No, Thomas. Well, I guess in a way you could look at it as like an invasion of somebody that way. But I think why it's not that, I guess for me, I get the allegory, but then like I feel like all use of the Force in that way that manipulates the bodies of others or thoughts could be considered that sort of. To me, this was just dark side technique in action without like an intent. I also think he picked up that she was Force sensitive. If I'm thinking about it now, like him looking at her, like he's so curious, and I wonder if he sensed. You know, he says he sensed it too. He thinks it's this girl, and he can feel something. So that's why he's like so curious. Yeah. Like I love the idea. I've forever loved the idea of the reason that he has a mask on is to intimidate and to feel intimidating. That line now, don't be afraid. I feel it too. It takes on so many meanings. He's just like, what? So it's awakening in her, and she's just as powerful as I am? And then he just opens the conduit to their connection. He's just a Skywalker. He's a dumbass, just like all of them. He does stupid things by accident, causing more problems for himself. Yeah, the we'll see was good foreshadowing. I did like the way Rey delivered that line in The Rise of Skywalker. It's so good. Forever confused about Snoke and Palpatine's connection because of these kinds of scenes. That's all I can say. He does have compassion. I mean, if you think about it, Dross makes her out to be like the surrogate to Leia's journey. Like she was going to follow in her footsteps. Maybe he saw something that reminded him of home. I don't know. Is that a stretch? I mean, maybe that's why he says this. Bring her to me. Maybe the bring her to me is like, maybe she's who I've been searching for all this time. And it just took a couple movies and a weird plot to kind of get there. I would say dill pickle. Or what if we find out that Snoke did exist once? Then Palpatine has decided to kill him and replicate him and just keep him in first order position. Imagine that. So Rey's just discovered she has force powers, right? So she tries to do what she has heard in the myths. Yes, it does happen rather quick, but not like it wasn't prepped or alluded to. Yeah, dude. There was a time I thought Rey was absolutely a Kenobi. I'm not even kidding. I literally thought this whole trilogy was going to be about the Kenobi Skywalker bloodline on opposite sides, now like reforging that bond, almost like Avatar. Yeah, like how Avatar and the Firebender and whatever. You know what I mean? They were friends. How good is his yelling? Yeah, that was Daniel Craig that got my tricked. Yeah, exactly. He knows like something is different about her. Could have been a little bit more clear. Also, how freaking cool is seeing a sun sucked into a planet? It's bizarre. It makes absolutely no sense. Therefore, it is very Star Wars. I think this scene's hilarious. That was the Death Star. This is just Death Star. What time are we on? We were at 1 hour, almost 1 hour 33 minutes. Also, this like team assemble around the hologram is really well like directed and choreographed. Blocked out. Whereas in Tross, I don't know if anybody got this vibe, but it just seems like you got the camera people and stuff that stand in the background, and nobody looks nervous. DLJ was the only film that kind of made the people involved with the main struggle that weren't just nervous in the background. Like, how do we blow it up? With the Force. Now this is a great montage of getting ready. Love this one. I love seeing droids sucked up into holes. Something about me. That little nod to Finn. Perfect. We got this, buddy. He doesn't need to say anything. So sad what happened to Leia. Like what Lando says in Tross, the Empire they destroyed ended up taking their children from them and their backs and their heroes of the rebellion. Very interesting way to put the whole sequence. Yeah, I can imagine Han being kind of a pain. So that pass through of the called Falcon, I'm pretty sure this one or the one from earlier in the film was the one that like looked like it was reused almost exactly in the Rise of Skywalker. I was like, wait. Like that's how much I've seen these movies. I must have like missed this part in the trailers and stuff because this part of the movie where the Falcon flies through trees was so surprising to me, and I was like so pumped. Oh, for sure, Thomas. I think everybody gives her a pass. I like the line. Wish we saw him in the cockpit of the Falcon being sad. I think that's better. Also, if you can't tell, AT-AT walkers were in the distance walking. Yeah, the Falcon scene's so good. Han, how would you know how the Force works, though? Tell me. You guys think Starkiller Base is just cool, though? Like, how many people were like, oh, well, it's just another Death Star? How many people were like, well, you know what? It's a planet that, like, they figured out how to turn into a weapon. I mean, it's kind of cool. Like, to me, yeah, it's just the Death Star, but, like, I just feel like if we knew it was Ilum right away and how it factored into Jedi lore, I think we would have been like, holy shit. on the boomer. I guess, well, I always just figured because it sucked up the sun. That's why they call it the Starkiller. But I don't know. Yeah, it's Ilum in the visual dictionary. Also, you know what's funny? Like, just thinking about playing Battlefront from 2015 and being like, oh yeah, that's like the beamer I started off the game with right there. Starkiller is like just the original name that they had for Luke's last name in the first treatment for Star Wars, when it was called The Star Wars. So that term has like always been around, or that name. Yeah, maybe that too, Henry. Yeah, Phasma kind of just like 9 num. If you don't like 9 num, you're wrong. Dude, the entrance of the X-wings is fucking amazing. There he is, JJ's man, Greg Grunberg. I know that like the Last Jedi takes place like 3 days after this or whatever, or like a day or two. It's just like so funny how different Hux looks. Oh, those scenes. The scenes, Darth Meme Boy, in The Rise of Skywalker of that flashback are unbelievably cool. I personally think the movie's original structure that like everybody's talked about what it is. I think that would have been fine. Start on a downward flashback of them training and then transition to Rey training. That would have been freaking sweet. Oh yeah, Commander Jackal. Finn. Why are you doing this? Finn was a perfect casting. Regardless of how people think his role went, I'm glad he entered the Star Wars. What if they just made out? You know? There's no Raylo, no Kylo Ren and Ben and Rey. Finn Rey. Could have happened. There once a time that I was like, maybe there'll be a bit of a real triangle this time with the bad boy and Finn. Not like I never for once bought Rey and Poe. That's one thing about Duel of the Fates where I'm like, nah, this is silly. Also, these scenes of missiles coming at the X-wings is brilliant. Come on, I can't wait to play Squadrons. Yeah, bad boy for the win. Does the chat know this? Are there any like lore videos or anything out there that explain how people in Star Wars read their strategic battle maps? Those like glass things that are in front of them. I've been looking for like information on that for so long because I'm so curious. They're almost just like a cosmetic prop. It's almost like he excavates giant pieces of military stuff. Yeah, Jennifer, it was. The sounds that are used in these movies for magnetic like moments, like when things connect, it's like it's so cool. I am so curious how they made that sound as a dude that just loves sound design. Like I know it's just some synthesizer and they just figured out some knobs or something, but so curious. Like a rabid animal. Find them so I can stab them. Yeah, this would be a pretty cool place to explore. Or like, you know what this place reminds me of? It oddly reminds me of a level in the N64 game 007 GoldenEye or whatever. You're just like in a never-ending shootout in this like tiny sort of confined area. I could be misremembering it, but it reminds me of that. Kylo walks around in this movie like I can't explain. Like either he's holding in a poop or he's just about to have an anxiety attack. He's so like closed fist and tight. Yeah, Jennifer, this scene's amazing. This is like this comes back in Tross and it plays out again. I'd argue that's one of the like the best moments in that movie. I love that it's just quiet. Kind of stern, but you can tell like so desperate to get his son. He doesn't want to let down Leia. Yeah, Thomas, I'd probably agree with that. I always thought he was kind of an analog for depression. The way he says no. It's like a Children of the Corn, but you can tell he's like, there's still some light in him. It's like already Kylo's Return of the Jedi moment, kind of. It's like it's too late, you know. It's I don't know. I thought it was brilliant that they went this way with the villain. A scared kid or a scared man child that like he's good at shit, but just feels all the shame for like everything he does. Yeah, agreed. It's cool that like JJ even mentions here like Kylo's considering really leaving this all behind, but then gives back into what he thinks he has to do to be the person he thinks he needs to be. Oh, I feel like they were summoning up some memories to make themselves really cry or something. Seems so nuts. Horrifying. Like, what a perfect way though to end Han's actual story in like he's the inverse. Like Luke gets inspired by Obi-Wan Kenobi to now save the galaxy and become a New Hope, the Jedi. This starts this dude on the movement away from like ever fully immersing himself in the dark for the rest of the trilogy. He just wants a friend. Yeah, the moment was nuts. It was spoiled for me. But like only what happened, not like how it would happen. But I was like, oh my god. Imagine how that would feel. Also, Chewie shooting him after this whole movie. This, I mean, it's just showing you right there. That blaster is a one-shot kill. The scale of the explosions and stuff in this movie, so much more compelling and interesting. Well, I guess, yeah, okay. I guess at the end of this movie, they started using the more classic Kylo Ren way of hitting those notes. I've always thought it was hilarious how fast Kylo Ren's like in the forest waiting. Like, so we meet again. Again. Yeah, his angry face is unbelievable. I think this scene's unbelievable too. So many YouTuber dudes that are like pro commenters, man. We like we're swordsmen. They're like, you can't like this because X, Y, and Z. It's so freaking weird. I think it's great. For instance, right here, people say that her back should have broken. And I'm like, but it's Star Wars. That twirl he does with the saber is amazing. The sound design is so cool. Raider! Finn's best moment in the entire trilogy, possibly, is right here. He's just total badass mode, like going against the heir to the grandson of Vader. You know, no big deal. I like Kylo's fighting form. Not super graceful, but you can tell he like has a thing. Like he has a flippy style with the blade. Wide swings. It's interesting. That's the same move he tried to do to Rey too when he circle parries the blade out of her hand, but he tries to do that on the Death Star and Tross and fails. But that was cool. Now, people were like, "See, he's so weak compared to Rey here." And to me, the way I read it is like, no, like I think like he just has a lot of doubt in him now because of what happened. Like he almost got taken out by a stormtrooper. He's been shot by a Wookiee. He just killed his dad, and now a girl from Jakku that lives in the sand read his mind. I'd be pretty scared too. Let me tell you the time code for where we're at. We're at 1 hour, 53 minutes, and 30 seconds. We have about 20 minutes of the movie left. Oh, weird. How many people are in this stream right now? For some reason, it's saying 0 people. Pretty sure there are people in the stream. Yeah, true. Yova, I'm making my way through Jedi Fallen Order on like the toughest mode, and it's so funny that now that I know the mechanics work, it's like really not even that hard. What I find harder are those like weird battle modes. Oh, okay. I was like, what's going on? I thought maybe the stream is crashing. Okay, thank you. Appreciate. 56 people chilling. All right. Say what you want about this being a trench run, but come on, it's badass. This is like, to me, this is where JJ tries to pay homage to things in the prequels, but he doesn't know how to do it cosmetically. This is like, to me, Anakin accidentally blowing up the inside of the Trade Federation, but also combined with the attack on the Death Star with the trench run. Like his way of JJ's way of honoring the prequels is by using an OT aesthetic with a prequel idea in the scene, kind of. One of the coolest things too about the sequels is like the use of the light of the lightsabers in the scenes. It's a thing that only happened once in any of the other 6 films. I think it was an Attack of the Clones? Yeah. Like when they're both twirling the lightsabers above their heads, you can see it glowing. Hey, Commander Jackal, thanks so much for hanging. I've always been so curious about this entire chasm forming. Rey's always before a chasm. And I'm like, narratively, is this supposed to be like the choice? She's before the abyss of making the choice of choosing the dark side of the Force or the light again. Therefore, chasm. But then, like, the Force chooses to not make a choice yet by splitting them up, I guess? I don't know. A lot of questions raised at the end of this movie based on what we know because of the rise of Skywalker. She just straight up did him in. Imagine if she just decapitated him and like, that was it. That was the sequel trilogy. JJ was like, thanks for coming. We love you. We hope we honored the trilogy characters. I think we did. But you're all right. Thanks. Bye. JJ Abrams. Yeah, he'll show her the ways of the Force. Also, paying... Like, I love this scene right here because The Last Jedi pays off on this scene with them fighting against a group of people. I think it's fucking amazing. This whole thing here, too, with Rey, and in the book, it says, like, she heard a voice telling her to kill him. It could have been Snoke's. Or whatever, but, like... I think... Somebody should have talked to JJ, Ryan Johnson, and everybody should have been like, look, it's just gonna be Palpatine at the end, even though people might have been not liked it, and just like give the little hints in a few little areas throughout the two films, but change almost nothing. Just mention the Sith cult. Like, that's all you need. I call this guy here that's like running away young Kennedy. Yeah, I think at one point I thought that he did get stabbed in a weird way. All right, so here's one thing I changed too. When Snoke says he wants to complete his training, take an existing story we know, which is from the Snoke Age of Resistance comic, have that in The Last Jedi. That's one thing that I would do. Because then it pays off with the fight with Luke at the end of the movie. That would be so cool. And then it would like go into get him being berated before Snoke again. Like, it all works. I love this music cue. It's on the DVD loading screen. One time I fell asleep with that on. Yeah, dude, the Dagobah comic is so fucking good. That I loved The Last Jedi, but I think that kind of a thing, pretty much that comic should have happened in The Last Jedi somewhere. Like before, like it should have been like, where's Han? Cuts to Kylo Ren being hovered over, like whatever, the chasm he's being hovered over. Here it is, guys. The end of Starkiller Base. I think this thing is a much cooler weapon to keep throughout the whole trilogy than all of the Exegol fleet. But that's just me. Yeah, John Williams is a genius, huh? I feel like The Force Awakens and The Rise of Skywalker have uncannily similar third acts. Like, just in regards of like, fleet goes to place, battle happens, battle almost doesn't succeed, battle does succeed, they return back to the same base, and then there's like a coda. Maybe that's just how Star Wars, I don't know, I just never noticed that formula in the other one. This is Leia knowing that Rey is a Palpatine. That's why she's hugging her, actually, because she's like, you know, when I found out I was a Vader, I was pretty sad too. So I'm going to give you a hug. Chewie has no idea who you are. Just don't tell him, because he'd be pissed. Well, no, I don't feel like the rest of the movies are these like mystery coda cliffhanger things. I feel like the sequel trilogy used that storytelling device more so than the other ones. Like, the Attack of the Clones has that a little bit in the first act, I guess. I know, that's the one thing that JJ always is like, I wish I fixed that. That Chewie should have, or that Chewie and Leia should have embraced. So that tell me, an alternate take is the tell me from Tross when she's like, I know how to get to Exegol. And she's like, tell me. That's it. Now I'm ruining the illusion for you guys. So I do wonder, do we know where Tekka got that map? Was it just like a relic somewhere that he found on like some cahoots, like in some comic? Just in like R2, because of his voyages with Luke, just happened to have a map of the galaxy. I love this thing. I also love the deleted scene of this from The Last Jedi. I think from here to the Falcon taking off is how the movie should have ended. Should never have seen Luke. My hot take. I think we should have gotten the beginning of this talk with Leia and Rey, because there's a little bit more of an exchange there. Then it ends with the, okay, what's going to happen next? Like, where's Luke? Where, like, is she going to find Luke? Does this lead to Luke? We don't really know. Boom. The Last Jedi. And I think it would have made a bit of I think it would have made the whole like non-time jump thing a little bit less jarring. So I Roberto for sure. I would say OT on top, sequel trilogy middle, prequel trilogy at the bottom. Story-wise, in some senses, I feel like the scale of the prequel trilogy is like the best story. But the OT, just in general, I would say is neck and neck with the prequel trilogy story-wise. And then, unfortunately, the sequel trilogy, because of Tross, is at the bottom of the storytelling trifecta. But just like fun factor, experience, me wanting to watch it again and again, OT and sequel trilogy at the top. Maybe it's just because of the OT aesthetic. So even if I think it should have ended before this, like right when she took off from Dakar, still beautiful. Jedi steps and all that. Elijah Neal, completely agreed. C-3PO was so good in Tross. In here, he's just kind of a prop, like Chewie. In this movie, J.J. Abrams made Octu seem enormous. There's so much. There's so much to this island. It's like Lord of the Rings big, right? In Tross, it's like this one camera angle, and it feels like my backyard. It's just so bizarre. And I know that was a reshoot. Actually, that was a pickup. There was a scene that didn't exist in the movie or something. That's what Marianne Brandon said. So that was part of the reshoots. The shot's amazing with her against the rocks. Cool cinematography. I still will say the story of Luke Skywalker is perfect in the sequel trilogy. Yeah. Luke and Tross just sounded like he was doing like a voiceover for a movie trailer the whole time for me. Like he was like in that mode. But whatever. I don't know. I'm also old. Like 34. 2 kids. Maybe I'm jaded. I've come around to not be really disliking Luke raising the X-Wing. Arachnido. The other thing too is like what were people gonna expect after this? Luke gazes on wearily at the lightsaber and Rey looking over a cliff. And this is it. Here it goes. Directed by J.J. Abrams. I wonder how much of Michael Arndt's stuff is really in this movie. Did it all end for you guys too? Is everybody still watching? Did we all sync it correctly? Are you guys watching the right Star Wars movie? This was fun. It's so it must be so weird, I guess, on the other end is hearing a random guy talk as a movie's happening that you're watching. But how about this? Chat tells me with the amount let's see, chat rules here. What's the next one? what Star Wars movie are we doing next? And unfortunately, I'll have to do it from a streaming service because there's no way that everybody has access to the original cuts that I do. So, let's see. What does the chat want to do next? All right, TLJ, Return of the Jedi. All right, how about this? Return of the Jedi or The Last Jedi. We'll just make it 2 options. Rapid fire. Oh, Marianne, thanks so much for the super chat. Appreciate you thinking I did a good job. I try to please. When I can't make content, that's the whole goal of this streaming stuff. Like hang out with you guys and just shoot the shit. All right, I'm seeing it seems even. Oh. Think we're getting into the TLJ zone. Are you guys ready for me to talk and listen and for you all to hang out with me while The Last Jedi happens? Because like I feel like it'll just be 2 hours and 33 minutes of dead silence. Because the whole time I'll be like, yes. Maybe oh, Barca. So these live streams aren't exactly scheduled. My channel doesn't have a schedule because I got 2 kids and like a regular job. Just like a lot of people do this full time. I unfortunately can't. So this is every week something Star Wars related, whether it's a stream or a video, happens. But usually there's a stream every week at this point. Now that my schedule has died down. So yeah, the usual schedule for anybody that's new here that's been hanging out for this whole movie thing. And TLJ wins. So let the chat know. TLJ is 1. We will do this next week. If Monday works best for the chat, that's fine. Or if a weekend earlier during the day, I'll throw a thing out there to figure it out. But just expect, 1 or 2 videos a week and a live stream once a week at this point. So we'll see. Unless my kids start getting crazy and all of a sudden it's like 2 videos a month, which would suck because I want to make way more than that. Yeah, if we want to do an earlier one, I can most likely that means I'll do a weekend, and I'll just do like a 4 p.m. stream, which is Eastern Standard Time, which is where I'm at, like on the Atlantic. I'm not sure where everybody is, so 4 or 5, 2 hours earlier than what this is for most people, if that works, that'd be fun. I mean, let's just do every single movie. It doesn't matter what order we do it. So let's do all 11 Star Wars movies, including the we can even do Rogue One. You guys can force me to watch Rogue One, even though I like the 3rd act. So, anyways, like 9:13. I am tired. It's been a day. I'm so pumped that I got to watch this without having to think about making a video and just enjoy it. So pumped you guys hung out. And yeah, I will let you know when the next stream will be. Last Jedi it is. And let's see how many people restream my stream and comment on it and tell me what I'm wrong about. It'll be interesting. But anyways, as always, may the Force be with you. And AT-AT is signing off for the night. See you guys later.